Ask me anything you like. Like I said, I'm an open book, so I've got billion-dollar Jewish conglomerates that can't break my arguments. So I mean, this is nothing against you. This isn't a problem.
No,
If you can think of it, I've probably already been asked it. We'll just put it like that.
well, I mean, a question you've probably been asked time and time again. Do you consider yourself or your organization a neo-Nazi organization?
Yes.
Are you proud of the term Nazi or neo-Nazi?
I personally am. Yes. You could ask different people different things in the organization, and it's very possible you're going to get a different answer. But I wear that very proudly.
Because obviously the flag of the NSM proudly brandishes the swastika on the front of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it has, I think the uniform has the Stormtrooper SS kind of Thunderbolt logo on it.
Some of them do, yes. Very select few.
I mean, the Stormtroopers were death squads that ran concentration camps. Do you not? I mean, regardless of your views, you try and come across, or try and put across your views in a legal way, and with like these kind of rallies and marches. Mm-hmm. Do you not see the kind of danger with associating yourself with a group that famously committed one of the biggest mass genocides in history?
Well, the problem with that is you're presuming that what actually happened, post World War II with the Nazis. And truth of the matter is I don't know, you don't know, nobody really knows. We know what we've been told about it. We know the videos that we've been seeing, but the problem is none of us was there.
People are alive, and people who were there are still alive now, and I mean, few and far between because of the time difference, but there are people who are sons and daughters of people who were in Auschwitz, in Birkenau, in Dachau, who are walking the streets now and will tell you everything. My mum had a tattoo on her arm and it had her number, and she had her head shaved, and my uncle was gassed. That is fact.
It seems like everybody has a relative that escaped from one of these camps. That's the first thing that raises a question.
I mean, I don't, but we had someone who came into our primary school to talk about it, who was there. I mean, I have friends who've been to Auschwitz. You can go to Auschwitz, mm-hmm. and you see the gas chambers and see the shoes on the floor. Is that not definitive proof?
No, it's definitely not.
Why isn't it? I mean, I'm curious. I'm not trying to shoot down, but why isn't?
I'm not trying to say that it did or didn't happen. A lot of people, a lot of white nationalists, people who are in a movement such as mine and others, will immediately jump to the fact, oh, no, it's a lie. It's a lie. And I'm not on board with that either. So I want to make that very clear right out of the gate. My position of it is that I can't differentiate what happened there. I can't. I do know for sure, and the Americans and allies, the Brits, the Russians have openly admitted that they bombed supply lines, food supply lines. So that would explain why everybody was starving. And it wasn't just the people in the camps that were starving. Everybody in Germany was starving. The people were starving. You can see there's video footage of people in Berlin, German citizens that are out there. There's dead horses laying in the street, and they're cutting off pieces of meat. I mean, this was a world, a nationwide famine is what was going on there. So that would explain why everybody was so skinny. But when I look at the other things there that happened in those camps, the chimneys not being attached to the buildings, the Germans had to be some of the most inefficient. They were so efficient at everything else. They had to be the most inefficient killers. It seems like everybody had, you knew a lot of the other camps, but a lot of people, they can't even name off the other camps. The only one they know is Auschwitz. They don't know Treblinka. They don't know Birkenau. They don't know none of these other names. And so that combined with the fact that it seems like this whole thing was staged to us, and I can't differentiate what is a lie and what is the truth. And that was back in 1945. Now, fast forward to 2001, we've got 9/11 here in the United States. And then we've got people that are saying that was a conspiracy. This was just back in 2001, 20 years ago. And people are saying that the government blew up the buildings, there was no planes. And you got other people saying that the government paid these Arabs to fly these planes in these buildings. And now here we are back to square one, just like with the death camps, quote unquote. We don't know what happened. because everybody's telling so many lies. You know, we heard other lies that some Jewish guy had an insurance policy and he paid these Arabs to fly him into the buildings. What's fact and what's fiction? I can't tell.
I think there's a difference between a conspiracy about 9/11, which, I mean, I'd argue we live in a conspiracy culture today where a million and one things will come out, and people will make stuff up because it seems convenient, and will look for things in videos that look like skulls or something. Um, but in terms of the firstly, the level of kind of stagery and forgery that would have had to gone to fake killing Jew. I mean, there are direct quotes by Hitler and Himmler, especially Himmler, about exterminating the Jewish the Jewish race and the final solution. They started out killing Jewish people in the back of vans before they found a more efficient way of turning the workers' camps into extermination camps. I mean, I can see by your face you disagree with with.
It's all hearsay. I mean, I have a problem with hearsay today, let alone back from, what are we talking, 70, 80, 90 years ago?
It's not Chinese whispers. It's not like you telling someone, you know, something's happened and then they mishear it. There are derelict extermination camps, and people were there, and that you can probably find a person walking the streets today who's about 100 who was in one of those camps. I mean, you have Anne Frank's diary. Do you know
that was written in a ballpoint pen, and ballpoint pens weren't invented until 1952? Yes, and
Anne Frank wasn't real.
I just nothing of this seems real. That's the problem. I mean, I'm just to the point with it where even if it was true, the truth is going to get thrown aside now, unfortunately, because there's been so many lies injected into it. I can't separate what's fact and what's fiction. So I have no choice but to say it's all fiction. It's all lies.
But how do you believe anything then? I
believe there was camps. That much is certain. What the motive behind those camps was, I do not know. I would take a guess and say it was to get the Jews that would not leave Germany out of circulation, and anybody else that might have been there. I believe that consists of the gypsies, the homosexuals. It looked like that was pretty clear to me. Why it turned out to be a death camp, I have no idea, other than it was a wartime. And if that was to happen in Great Britain or America or any country today, I'm sure the food sources would have been thrown to the soldiers who were on the front lines fighting the war, not to the people that were in the country. And so everything seemed to support that. As far as whether or not this was some sort of a mass genocide just to pick on Jews, 6 million of them. I keep on hearing that number and everything. Always 6 million. That's a very ominous number. They keep on using that number.
Wait, I don't think it's ominous. I think it's just a statistic, in the same way that, 100 people went to the shop yesterday.
I have nothing to really base it on is the problem. And I'm not saying that it didn't happen. I'm just saying that if it did happen, I can't prove it. And I don't like nonsense. And I don't like gray area and slippery slopes when it comes to that. But what I do have to base it on is what I see today and the quality of people that I deal with and how the Jew acts today. And it helps me put into perspective and put the pieces into place as far as what the Germans may have been dealing with back then, and gives me a better understanding. And those results are not good.